in the air with the APM 2.5 and ArduCopter 3.0.1 on the mini quad. And this was just the basic ArduCopter setup, so I'm going to walk you through that. And as you can tell, the Mini's pretty loaded up with electronics, APM, GPS, and then our receiver. Our all-up weight right now is about 250 grams. And what I want to do is show you how to get up in the air with the APM 2.5 and ArduCopter 3.0.1. The first thing we want to do is connect our APM to your Mac or PC, and then fire up Mission Planner. Now with the APM connected and Mission Planner open, we're going to go ahead and connect to the board. Before we load the ArduCopter 3.0.1 firmware, you just want to move your quad around and you can see that it's receiving data. So next we'll go over to the hardware tab, and we're going to load ArduCopter 3.0.1. Okay, our firmware is loaded. You'll notice that it's telling us to do a live compass calibration. We'll get to that in a second. Now after you load the firmware, you need to make sure that you reconnect to the board. So I'm going to click connect again. And after you're connected, you'll see these mandatory hardware settings. You need to go through these four settings first, just to make sure everything is configured and you can get in the air. So we'll have an X configuration. Now compass, we're going to do a live compass calibration. And what I'll do is I'll click this button. And once I hit OK, I'm going to walk you through the steps with the mini quad. Okay, before I do the live compass calibration, I'll mention that I'm pointed north, and if you watch the how-to from Randy McKay, he's one of the DIY drones developers, he mentions that magnetic north is really where you want to calibrate your compass to, and that's about 60 degrees down. So I'm going to click OK to begin the live calibration and then walk you through the process. So I've hit OK, and now it's going to be logging the data, and I'll start by pointing the front down, the right of the quad down, the back of the quad down, the left side of the quad down, and then what I do next is I actually go upside down, point the front down, the left down, the rear down, and the right down. So I bring it back, and that's about 60 seconds, and what the Mission Planner will do is it'll take that data, log it, and then give you tell you your compass settings. And these are the offset values that have been saved after doing the live calibration, so 25, negative 25, and 23. Okay, so the live calibration is complete. The next we'll want to do is our accelerometer calibration. So I'll calibrate the accelerometer, and it'll tell me to go through a series of steps, and after each step, hit any key on your keyboard to proceed to the next. For step 1 of accelerometer calibration, we want to make sure the APM is level and then hit a key on our keyboard. And then it says to move it onto the left side. So I'm going to move the quad onto its left side and hit the keyboard. Then move to the right side, and I'll hit the keyboard. Then point the nose down. Hit the keyboard. Point the nose up. Hit the keyboard. and then place it upside down, and I'll hit the keyboard. Now our accelerometer calibration is complete. So doing radio calibration, make sure that your transmitter and your receiver are binded. So I powered up the quad, and I'm going to click calibrate radio. And you'll notice that on throttle, I'm going to go all the way up, all the way back to set the endpoints. Then rudder, left, then all the way right. Then pitch, I'm going to pitch forward, and you'll notice that when you pitch forward you want your PWM to go down, and then when you pitch back you want it to go up. And then I'm going to roll left, and then roll right. And once that's done, we'll just click this button, click when done. And our radio is now calibrated. And what we'll do next is I'll power down the receiver and disconnect the APM, and we'll take it up in the air. Okay, so with the calibration routines that we went through, I'm going to go ahead and arm, and our board is arming. Give it a little bit of throttle just to make sure that everything's responding. So nice and stable. See a little bit of oscillation. Now I'm flying in the default flight mode 1 of stabilize. You see how it kind of comes back to level. Pretty dialed in. So that's how you get up and running pretty quickly with your APM 2.5 and ArduCopter firmware. And I'll post a follow-up soon that shows how to configure any of your switches. In my case, I'm going to configure the gear switch to go into loiter mode and see how the new loiter function works, as well as how it performs on the mini quad. So be on the lookout for that video. Post any questions or comments below, and thanks for watching.